Chicago police say a 23-year-old man was found shot to death.
Chicago is a city where rap often ends faster than a career has time to begin. Here, artists' names become the names of neighborhoods and tracks become final words. This is a story about rappers killed by the streets of Chicago. Welcome to the top art legends. Tuka, killed in 2011. This sad Chicago story begins with Tuka, a name known even to those who have never heard his music. The irony is that Tuka was not a rapper in the classical sense. He had no albums, no music videos, no contracts. Yet his name became one of the most recognizable in drill culture. Tuka grew up in the St. Lawrence neighborhood on the south side of Chicago. He was associated with the STL crew, which was later unofficially called Tukaville in his honor. To his friends, he was just a regular kid from the neighborhood. To his enemies, he was part of a conflict that was already gaining momentum.
At what point did you meet Tuka?
Tuka. I met Shandell, probably night we all from the low end. Tuka one like us, but he was one of us. You see what I'm saying? Folks be downtown stealing or talking to some bitches. That's what he known for.
On January 12, 2011, Tuka was near a bus stop in his neighborhood. Armed individuals approached him and opened fire. He sustained fatal gunshot wounds. Tuka was only 15 years old. Police arrived at the scene, but as in many cases in Chicago, the murder was never solved. At first glance, it seemed like another tragic story of a teenager from the South Side. But this was only the beginning. After Tuka's death, his name began appearing in rap tracks, first as a symbol of loss, and later as a tool of mockery and humiliation used by enemies. The name turned into slang, a cruel joke, a way to insult an entire crew. This was the moment when drill rap crossed a line. When the name of a murdered teenager becomes a meme, can it still be called music? The STL area was increasingly referred to as Tukaville, unofficially but with a clear meaning. This is a neighborhood that remembers. It is also where FBG Duck came from, repeatedly emphasizing that Tuka is not a lyric, but a real person, a real death, and real pain. Tuka's death became a turning point. Many believe that it was after 2011 that the conflict between STL and O-Block turned into an open war that claimed dozens of lives. Tuka never had the chance to become an artist, but he became a symbol of how easy it is to lose your name in Chicago and how hard it is to reclaim humanity. So the next time you hear the name Tuka in a track, remember, it's not just a word. It's a 15-year-old teenager who never got the chance to grow up. Lil Jojo, killed in 2012. Next in this story is Lil Jojo, who became one of the prominent figures of the early Chicago drill scene, at a time when the genre was just taking shape. He was associated with the Gangster Disciples, who were in a violent conflict with the Black Disciples, a rivalry that long ago went beyond music. Shortly before his death, Jojo released the track 300K, which brought him widespread attention. It was a harsh diss aimed at Lil Reese, Chief Keef, and the 300 crew. Keef's team, considered rivals of Brick Squad, linked to the Gangster Disciples. The track sounded like a direct challenge. In early September 2012, Lil Jojo was shot while riding his bicycle through the Englewood neighborhood in Chicago. Earlier that same day, just hours before the murder, Jojo and his friends drove past Parkway Garden Homes, a housing complex near Chief Keef's home.
This would be Gangster Disciple territory. This is where Jojo got killed over a year ago.
They filmed a video openly mocking his crew. A verbal exchange broke out between Jojo's group in the car and Lil Reese with his people standing by the building. Words that sound particularly chilling today. That evening, Jojo was dead. The news quickly spread across the city.
We all right there. We see Jojo on the ground, ambulance. They turn him around and you see a big ass hole like this, boy. I'm like, boy, hell no, he couldn't get hit like one time for my life, bro. The girl said they shot like 6 times. They started it though.
This BD and GD, I don't think this shit gonna ever stop.
Soon, Chicago police speculated that members of 300 associated with the Black Disciples could have been involved. The situation escalated when mocking posts appeared on Chief Keef's Twitter account about JoJo's death. Keef later claimed his account had been hacked, but police still considered him a potential suspect. Later, Lil Durk included lines in his track "Dis Ain't What You Want" that many interpreted as mocking JoJo. Durk and Lil Reese also had connections to 300, yet police found no direct evidence linking them to the murder.
To you, but who do you think is responsible for your son's death?
Chief Keef.
You believe he himself pulled the trigger?
I don't believe himself pulled the trigger. I believe he paid somebody to do it.
Chief Keef later publicly expressed condolences to JoJo's family and emphasized he had nothing to do with the tragedy. Police later proposed another theory. The likely killer was Keith "Kiki" Bonds, a 26-year-old member of the Black Disciples. But the story took another tragic turn. On September 17, 2012, Bonds was fatally shot on Normal Boulevard, territory controlled by the Black Disciples. In 2013, Lil JoJo's brother tweeted a phrase that for many became the final word on the story. "Even the opponents know that the motherfucker who took my brother is not walking this earth anymore." Do you think this story could have ended differently? YPN Boomtown, killed in 2013. Gisson Danner created his hip-hop alter ego, YPN Boomtown, largely inspired by Chief Keef, the rap sensation from Englewood. They were stepbrothers, so this influence was not just musical, but personal as well. Despite this, Boomtown was not a copy. He developed his own lyrical style, but openly took inspiration from Chief Keef, an artist whose harsh, aggressive lyrics, full of themes of guns, street life, and gang affiliation, eventually helped him sign with Interscope Records, a label backed by Dr. Dre, 50 Cent, and Eminem. Those close to Boomtown believed his story was only beginning. The rapper's friend and manager, Tommy Rice, founder of Chicago label True Biz Records, recalled, "He rapped about struggling and what he was going to do. He was going to make it big. We were going to make it big." And it seemed like that path was real. But on January 2nd, 2013, it all ended. YPN Boomtown was shot in a car near 124th Street in South Union Avenue after visiting his uncle in the West Pullman neighborhood. He was taken to Roseland Hospital but could not be saved. Another name added to the list of those who never realized their potential. Johnny Boy Da Prince, killed in 2013. Johnny Boy Da Prince was another young, promising rapper from Chicago whose story ended tragically. What makes it even more chilling, he was killed just a week after YPN Boomtown's death. Johnny Boy was shot and left to die in an alley in Garfield Park. It later emerged that the murder happened due to a mistaken identity. He was not the person the attackers were looking for. Imagine that for a second. A person simply in the wrong place at the wrong time. That detail shook the city and the scene even more. Despite his short path, the industry had already started noticing him. Andrew Fector, an assistant at Atlantic Records, recalled discovering Johnny Boy Da Prince's music after the rapper's manager emailed him, "I played it at a meeting and everyone liked it." Fector emphasized the obvious talent. He was definitely talented. I personally believe he had a bright future in the music business. He definitely would have had a career. And that is perhaps the most painful part of this story. A career was almost within reach, but life ended first. J Money, killed in 2013. J Money was a local rapper, known far beyond the microphone. He had close ties to the streets and a reputation as a tough and dangerous figure. Friends described him as an aggressive enforcer, someone both respected and feared. As a member of the Black Disciples faction, J Money lived in a world where violence was part of everyday life. Death was never distant here, and it's worth pausing for a moment to ask, how many stories in Chicago began just like this? On September 2nd, 2013, J Money received a call from a girl asking for a ride. Another man was in the car with him. They first stopped by a laundromat, after which the girl called again, asking to be picked up at the 6600 block of South Rhodes Avenue in West Woodlawn. When J Money arrived, another car was already nearby, which witnesses later said had been waiting for this moment. The man in his car later recalled that it was a silver Chevy Impala, one they had noticed before. As the girl stepped out of the car, gunshots rang out. When she returned, she saw J Money on the ground, wounded and bleeding. She tried to save him with CPR, but a shot to the head was fatal. J Money died on the spot. He was 21. After his death, the Chicago scene exploded with theories and speculation. Jay Hood from O Block publicly commented, hinting that the story was far more complicated than it seemed.
What happened with J Money?
Oh, Jay, he was going to see Mona Lisa, and man, you know she got that man set up. I don't care what
Who's Mona Lisa?
Well, let me not put that on her name. God forbid she did that. I hope she didn't. But most times it happened like that. Jay Money was going over there to visit his BM. And next thing you know, the ops knew exactly when he was coming, and they killed him right on her doorstep. And Prince Dre was in the car. Dre was in the car, and I saw Dre, bro, and it was broke down. Like, when I saw Dre, he was beat down. Like, bro, because they did it right in front of them. And mind you, he probably was terrified, because, like, they could have looked at the car, tried to come. But yeah, they saw J Money. I don't know if, you know how people be there, so they like, we saw the whole time. You ain't see, because when the shots blew, you ducked. But then when they left, you looked up.
J Money's death was a devastating blow for the 300 block community. Social media was filled with messages from friends and family mourning the young man, who was soon to become a father. Capo from Glory Boys Entertainment called J Money his brother, writing, "Up thinking about J Money, he wasn't my homie or my friend, dat was my brother, love you bro." Despite the public outcry, no arrests were ever made in the case. And unfortunately for Chicago, this would not be the last story like it. Young men on the streets continued to die. Al Capone, killed in 2013. Next in this story is L.A. Capone, a rapper widely considered one of the most promising voices of the drill scene. He became known for tracks like Round Here and Play for Keeps, which showcased his unique flow, charisma, and authentic street lyrics. Like Chief Keef and Lil Durk, L.A. Capone was a member of the Black Disciples, which further intertwined his music with street realities. On September 26, 2013, 17-year-old Capone had just left a recording studio at 7000 South Stony Island Avenue. Walking through an alley, he was shot, sustaining injuries to his lower back and right thigh. Despite medical efforts, the young artist died from his wounds. Pause for a second. He was only 17 years old. It wasn't until August 2014 that police filed charges. 3 people were accused in L.A. Capone's murder. Saki Hardy Johnson and Michael Mays, linked to the 051 Young Money Gang, were charged with first-degree intentional murder. The third person, Mako Buchanan, was driving the car during the attack. Buchanan pled guilty and was sentenced to 45 years in prison. Trife, killed in 2013. Trife was a rapper who spoke about a very different Chicago. While most rapped in the language of streets and revenge, Trife openly opposed gang violence. He was not considered a target. He was not at the center of street conflicts and did not provoke enemies. In fact, at the time of his death, Trife was working on a video called Respect the Youth, intended to draw attention to Chicago's bloody murder epidemic. The paradox is that while he tried to stop violence, he became its victim. On October 7th, 2013, Trife was on the 7300 block of South Dorchester Avenue when 2 men approached him on foot. Without warning, a shot to the head, he was rushed to a local hospital. Doctors fought to save him, but the next day the rapper died. Investigations were, of course, conducted. But as in many similar cases, no arrests were ever made, and it feels like nobody was really interested in finding the person responsible for this young man's death. What do you think? Why do cases like this so often go unanswered? Don Darius, killed in 2013. Don Darius was an emerging musician just beginning his path. He actively uploaded music to YouTube, including videos like Coolin' on the Tray, I'm drinking, I'm coolin' on the tray, and Competition, Hang With Me. However, Don Darius openly clashed with the Black Disciples. In his tracks and videos, He repeatedly mocked the gang, never hiding his position. He often chanted BDK, BDK, which stood for Black Disciple Killer. Here again, music stops being just music. On December 16, 2013, Don Darius was in Chatham when he was shot in the head. He was rushed to the hospital, but despite efforts, he died from his injuries. For his friends, this was a huge blow. They shared the tragedy on Twitter, posting photos and farewell messages. The case was, of course, opened and investigated, but once again, no one was arrested. Lil Mark, killed in 2014.
What's in my cup? Sir, sipping lean.
Lil Mark was a drill rapper and a member of the Mickey Cobras, specifically the 051 Young Money faction. From late 2013 to early 2014, 051 Young Money became one of the main targets on Chicago streets. The reason? The high-profile September 2013 murder of rival rapper Al Capone near a recording studio, an attack reportedly connected to people from Young Money 051. After that moment, the street war was no longer hidden. Lil Mark chose not to calm the conflict, but to add fuel to the fire. In March 2014, he released the track No Competition. In the song, Mark openly disrespected the deceased opponents and dissed Rondo No. 9, who had been shot the day after L.A. Capone's death during a candlelight memorial. Imagine the tension: a funeral, candles, mourning, and gunshots. The consequences were immediate. Within 72 hours of the track's release, there were 2 assassination attempts on Lil Mark, and the third attempt proved fatal. On March 28, 2014, Lil Mark was standing at a bus stop. An ordinary moment, an ordinary day. An armed man approached and shot him directly in the head. The attacker fled in a van, later found abandoned and completely burned. Lil Mark died on the spot. Once again, a track became a sentence. Big Glow, killed in 2014.
I promise you don't wanna make me shoot.
Big Glow, formerly known as Blood Money, was the eldest member of Glory Boys Entertainment and a cousin of Chief Keef. In Keef's camp, he was called the Elder Statesman, a man of authority, experience, and street respect. Big Glow was no newcomer. He had already released several mixtapes of hard street rap that resonated on Chicago's local drill scene. His 2013 mixtape, Drug Wars, recorded for Glory Boys Entertainment, became a turning point, leading to a contract with Interscope Records. For a street rapper, this was the dream coming true. His manager later recalled trying to get him out of Chicago. "It's a lot of crime and violence in Chicago. These rap guys are being targeted. So, just trying to get him outside the neighborhood." He explained that Big Glow was a street kid trying to put his career together. They gave him some money up front. It was a good chance for him to get himself out the hood. A chance to start over. A chance at a clean slate. But on April 9th, 2014, that chance vanished. On Elizabeth Avenue, 2 shooters opened fire. Big Glow was hit 10 times. He was rushed to John H. Stroger Jr. Hospital of Cook County, where doctors declared him dead. Police found over 24 shell casings at the scene. 24. This was no longer an attack. It was an execution.
With his situation, with him being killed and shit, people said it was KI. Why do you think people was hating on Blood?
Dude, bro, folks them killed T-Roy and Von killed that nigga. No matter what the else, and look, I might be saying it in a harsh way, but I'm no way in no form of fashion trying to be disrespectful to Blood. Rest in peace to Big Gang. Niggas was backdooring. That's why I'm speaking out on this shit. I don't know nothing. The First Street know what's up. They know that it's been some shit going on for years
but
now.
T-Roy and Chief Keef was cool. Why would T-Roy kill Chief Keef's cousin, though?
We can't even get to all the main logistics of it, but we just gonna say niggas is followers. T-Roy and Vaughn was who they was, but that don't mean that them niggas was, them niggas listen to people.
His life ended just as the opportunity to start fresh had arrived, to leave the streets behind. But Chicago doesn't let go that easily. OTF Nunu, killed in 2014. OTF Nunu was a drill rapper and a cousin of Lil Durk. He was part of Only the Family, a crew that was rapidly gaining influence on Chicago's scene at the time. Like many of his peers, Nunu rapped about his life, but his music had a noticeably different tone. His tracks were energetic, brighter, and focused not only on the streets but also on having fun, friendship, family, and relationships. He seemed like someone who could genuinely take a different path. People who worked with him in the studio saw this potential clearly. Merk Murphy, owner of the studio where Nunu recorded, said, "He was one of those kids who saw an opportunity to put himself in a better position with his music. He saw a chance and tried to take it. But on May 31st, 2014, it ended. OTF Nunu was sitting in a sport utility vehicle on the 700 block of East 87th Street, Southside Chicago, when unknown assailants approached and opened fire. After being shot, his vehicle crashed into the window of a nearby store. He was declared dead at the scene. Police linked the killing to gang conflicts, a typical assumption for Chicago at the time. But Nunu's aunt publicly denied he was involved in such disputes. Despite the investigation, the case remained unsolved. Another talent, simply erased from the streets of the city. KTS Vaughn, killed in 2015. KTS Vaughn was a drill rapper and street artist whose name remains tied to one of the most intense chapters of Chicago hip-hop. He grew up on the South Side, where the streets were his first stage and music his way of being heard. In his music, KTS Vaughn didn't hide the violence around him. He reflected it. Tracks like Kill to Survive, Street Life, and No Love became local anthems for those who saw and lived life on the streets. His lyrics spoke of conflicts with enemies and the mindset of win or die, a phrase that even became part of his stage identity. The turning point in his story came on June 23, 2015. On that day, Vaughn was on the streets near his home in the South Ellis Avenue area when a sudden attack ended his life. According to police reports, a vehicle pulled up to the group Vaughn was with, including two friends, and opened fire. KTS Vaughn was shot multiple times in the chest and died at the scene. His friends were injured but survived, while Vaughn did not. Police suspected it was a targeted killing linked to street conflicts between gangs. But the case was never officially solved and no suspects were publicly named. After his death, many artists remembered him, and his tracks continued to influence new rappers. A reminder of the dark side of the scene they all called home. Young Pappy, killed in 2015. Young Pappy was another voice of Chicago. He wasn't from the classic South Side drill neighborhoods. He was a North Side rapper. His music was aggressive, raw, and uncompromising. The track Killa became a cult favorite among drill fans. But behind the music was reality. He was tied to a gang, the Gangster Disciples. Young Pappy didn't just rap about war, he lived it. In 2014, he survived a shooting that killed others. He released a video for the track shooters, where he harshly taunted rivals. "You don't even know how to shoot." Police described this as technological fuel, social media plus YouTube plus provocations, shirks real-world violence. On May 29, 2015, Young Pappy was with a friend on a Chicago street when an armed man approached and opened fire. Pappy was shot twice in the back and taken to a hospital, where he died. The shooting occurred in an area where 3 street gangs, conservative vice lords, Gangster Disciples, and Black P-Stones were in conflict. His death is considered a result of this gang war and his own provocations. Young Pappy is an example of how, in Chicago, music and the streets often become inseparable when a microphone becomes an extension of the conflict. DOCU the Man, killed in 2018.
Got a brand new 30 in his fresh out the box. I swear they celibate.
DOCU the Man was a drill rapper, a member of FBG Flyboy Gang, and part of the Tucaville faction of the Gangster Disciples. For many, he wasn't just an artist. He was a voice of the neighborhood, someone who didn't separate music from the streets. DOCU was part of the same scene as FBG Duck, often appearing with him in tracks, videos, and just on the streets. His style was hard, direct, and unfiltered. He didn't play a role or try to please everyone. Local, aggressive rap that was respected because it was authentic. He openly dissed rivals from O Block, which in Chicago means only one thing: you become a target. In this city, words often echo like gunfire. On June 10th, 2018, DOCU was in Hyde Park, a relatively quiet area near the University of Chicago campus. But even there, Chicago remains Chicago. Near 51st Street, a car pulled up, and several armed men exited and opened a barrage of gunfire. There were too many shots, far too many. DOCU suffered multiple gunshot wounds. He was taken to a hospital but could not be saved. News of his death spread through the city instantly. For FBG, it was another, but particularly painful loss. FBG Duck publicly expressed his grief. His words carried more anger than tears. After this, the conflict between Tocqueville and O Block escalated even further. DOCU's death became yet another fuel for a war that had long surpassed music. Diss tracks grew harsher, videos became more aggressive, and real-world violence increased. The streets don't know the word enough. Despite investigations, no clear resolution has ever been reached in this case. As with many Chicago stories, responsibility dissolved into a chain of revenge. FBG Duck, killed in 2020.
Make Chicago legend shit.
FBG Duck began his career in 2013 on the Chicago drill scene. For a long time, he remained a local artist. But in 2018, everything changed. That year, Duck released the hit Slide, which blew up so much that 21 Savage made a remix of it. From that moment, FBG Duck was no longer just a Chicago rapper. In the last 5 years of his life, he released 4 albums and countless solo singles with his crew, Flyboy Gang. He was a prominent figure, a voice of his neighborhood, and at the same time, someone drawn into a long-standing conflict. On August 4th, 2020, gunshots rang out in the upscale Gold Coast area near downtown Chicago, a place usually filled with boutiques, tourists, and luxury cars. 4 armed men exited a vehicle and opened fire, killing the rapper. They then fled the scene. His girlfriend and a bystander were also injured and taken to the hospital.
Duck death is one of the sickest shit I ever seen. Guys come like Al Capone and spray him down. The man in one of the safest areas in the world and lose his life. But he be in them ghetto ass neighborhoods every day and he was safe. Shit can happen at a blink of an eye. All that shit backdoor. Shit, Duck was out here in Chicago dangerously, like.
Federal investigators linked the shooting to the violent war between the Tocqueville faction of the Gangster Disciples, represented by Duck, and the O Block set of the Black Disciples. The streets take everyone, and sooner or later, Duck's death shook the city. A Chicago community activist said, "He was pretty popular, and at the end of the day, there are going to be a lot of people angry at this." He added, "A lot of young people are going to lose hope because he was an idol. It's going to take the city a large effort to help young people cope with this loss." In the end, 6 members of the notorious gang were arrested. By 2024, all of them were found guilty of orchestrating the murder, a rare case in which this story finally received a legal conclusion. King Von, killed in 2020. King Von, rapper and street figure closely tied to the Black Disciples gang. For many, he wasn't just an artist, but a living embodiment of Chicago drill culture. In 2018, he signed with Only the Family, Lil Durk's label, which marked a sharp rise in his career. That same year, the single Crazy Story launched him into stardom. By 2020, Took Her to the O cemented his status. Both singles eventually earned triple platinum certification from the RIAA. Von's music bridged street rap and mainstream success, keeping authentic Chicago roots while reaching a broad audience. Initially gaining fame in Chicago, he later moved to Atlanta, seeking new opportunities.
My brother just walked in. He had walked in my house, and he didn't say it in an exciting way, but he said it in a way of like, "I thought you already know this," but he was like, "You know King Von died?" I said, "What, bro?" He said, "You know he died?" They said he died last night, he got shot or something like that. And it's in the middle of me cooking, bro. I look at my phone and I see the shit. And I used to wake up and not touch my phone for like 2 hours or 3 hours just to keep type of peace and start my day right. So when I looked at it, it just hit me crazy. And I remember, boy, I dropped down to the floor, I started crying.
On October 6, 2020, at the parking lot of Monaco Hookah Lounge on Trinity Avenue, an argument quickly escalated into a gunfight between two groups. King Von was shot multiple times and rushed to the hospital, but he died from his injuries. Timothy Lul Tim Leaks, a rapper associated with Quando Rondo, was arrested as a suspect. However, in 2023, all charges were dropped. The court ruled that Leaks acted in self-defense under Georgia's Stand Your Ground law. Even one of the most successful drill artists wasn't immune to the deadly intersection of music and street conflict.
You walked up to King Von to dap him up. Can you take us through that night?
I don't even remember that night. That was so long ago. You know how that go. That was, man, I don't even remember 2 months ago.
Bloodhound Lil Jeff, killed in 2024. Bloodhound Lil Jeff was a rising drill rapper in Chicago. Not a mainstream name, not platinum records, but a part of the local scene, a part of the streets. The incident occurred on the 6,600 block of South Rhodes Avenue, a location that had appeared in multiple similar tragedies. He was shot about 15 times. Rushed to the hospital, he was pronounced dead. After his death, his close friend Lil Scoom, 89, posted on social media in memory of Lil Jeff. "I love you, I'ma be with you real soon. Damn, Bruda, this shit don't feel real." Tragically, just a month later, Lil Scoom, 89, was also killed. 2 lives lost, same neighborhood, same brutal pattern. Lil Scoom, 89, killed in 2024. Lil Scoom, 89, was an emerging artist on the Chicago drill scene. Known for raw, emotional lyrics, he was rapidly gaining recognition, collaborating with other underground rappers, and steadily building a fan base. On July 7th, 2024, while in the Chatham neighborhood with a 16-year-old friend, a verbal altercation with another man escalated. Later, as Lil Scoom and his friend were walking home, gunfire erupted.
Lil Scoom died after y'all got in the house.
He passed away leaving the house.
Leaving the house.
Yeah.
So he got shot outside your house? Ooh.
We was all standing outside and, well, we went all, I walked my company out personally. So it was just me, his homie, and him. And we was standing at the gate. And they Uber pulled up. And Will, his homie, walked up to the car and he was getting in the car first. And Scoom was still talking to me. And then he turned around and walked away. And as they was walking away and I was turning back to go inside the gate, they just got to shooting like everywhere. Like it was so much shooting.
Lil Scoom was critically wounded and taken to the hospital, but died from his injuries. Police identified a suspect and launched a pursuit, even involving Chicago SWAT units. But no arrests were made. Questions lingered. Was the shooter exceptionally skilled, or was there simply no urgency to capture him? Social media erupted with grief and disbelief. Fans, friends, and fellow artists mourned a talent lost too soon. His label released a statement. "It is with great sadness that we share the loss of our artist Lil Scoom, 89. A true creative, Scoom's passion for music was evident in the near-constant flow of songs and videos to his fans. His immense talent, ambitious vision, and quiet determination made him a one of one and an inspiration to so many. We will miss him dearly. Our thoughts are with his family." The loss of Bloodhound Lil Jeff and Lil Scoom, 89, one after another in the same year, highlighted the relentless cycle of violence that continues to claim young Chicago artists, even those just beginning to make their mark. T.W. Malo, killed in 2025. His name didn't circulate in the media and didn't appear on major playlists. T.W. Malo existed on the periphery of the scene, a place where rap hadn't yet become a commodity and remained a personal pursuit. Only those close to him knew him. Friends, acquaintances, people from the same reality. No public image, no stories of success. On February 2nd, his life was cut short in his own home. A quarrel that escalated into tragedy. There was no news, no official statements, only messages on social media in the silence that followed. And here's a question for all of us. How many such stories do we simply overlook? T.W. Malo didn't become a legend, but that doesn't make the loss any less real. Just another life gone, without witnesses or applause. Crack star, killed in 2025.
Running up these blues got me feeling like I'm Nipsey.
And now another story, a name about which almost nothing is known. No major interviews, no media articles, no big releases. Crackstar was an underground rapper from Chicago. He was part of the scene, part of the streets, part of that reality where life often ends faster than a career. The only thing known, he was indeed killed. On February 23rd, Crackstar died during a fight near a bar in Glenwood. A normal evening, a normal quarrel, and once again, a situation that got out of control. In Chicago, this is often how stories begin. Stories that are later rarely fully investigated. There were no news reports, no police statements on camera, but there was a Facebook post, words from people who knew him, and that's enough to understand. This isn't a rumor. It's not a legend. It's another lost life. Swervo Bands, killed in 2025. Swervo Bands was an underground rapper, a name well known on the streets but not yet featured in the headlines of major media. He was part of a new wave, young, hungry, raw to the core. A wave that grows not in studios but between the blocks. Though he didn't have a major contract, Swervo was actively building his audience. He uploaded tracks, music videos, kept in touch with fans, and, like many young Chicago rappers, wasn't in a hurry to leave his neighborhood. But in this city, that's always a risk. March 7, 2025. A regular day. The rapper was shot. He sustained fatal gunshot wounds and was rushed to the hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Swervo Bands became the last name in this story. And the scariest part, between 2011 and 2025, nothing fundamentally changed. New names, new faces, the same streets, the same bullets. These names are not statistics or lines from songs. They are lives cut short too soon, leaving behind only music, pain, and silence. And until the city changes, this list may grow even longer. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell. You can also write a comment in the comment section down below. See you later on the Top Art Legends.